If you're struggling to find a job right now, here's exactly what you need to do. And the very first thing is to figure out where exactly you are getting stuck. And to make it pretty simple, there's really only two reasons or two places where you could be getting stuck and struggling. The first is if you're struggling to get enough interviews. The second is if you're struggling to pass these interviews and get these offers. So let's talk about the first reason. And how can you even figure out if you're struggling to get enough interviews? Well, you want to target about a 10% response rate from your online applications. If you haven't been tracking your online applications, you should start to do that right now. But as a general ballpark, you kind of want to be contacted by a new company to interview at least every 2 weeks. So if you aren't hitting these metrics or these targets, then this is most likely where it is that you are getting stuck and why you're struggling to find a job. So go ahead and pause this video right now and do some quick calculations to see what your current response rate is from all of your applications this month. Okay, so if you aren't getting a 10% response rate from your online applications, you're going to want to watch this part of the video right now. But if you did your calculations and you're actually getting enough interviews, then you can go ahead and skip the next section using the timestamps down below. And if you're finding this video to be helpful so far, make sure you click subscribe down below or share this video with a friend who is getting stuck or struggling in their job search. Okay, so if you aren't getting enough interviews, here are some common reasons why. First, you could be applying for the right and perfect job for you, but your resume just sucks or isn't optimized for the ATS system. So I have a whole bunch of videos and an entire playlist that you can check out right over here. But none of these videos are going to help you if it's the second reason, which is you are applying for the wrong jobs. But how do you even know if you're applying for the right job? Well, the right job is the job that matches your exact job title and level that you have right now. So those of you who are trying to switch careers right now purely by applying online, you are going to get stuck in your job search and you are just naturally going to get less interviews. And for those of you who are trying to get a promotion by switching jobs right now, by applying for a job that's a higher level than one you're at right now, you're also going to get stuck in your job search. And as a recruiter, I'm going to be honest and tell you right now, if you apply for a job online with your resume without a referral and your current job title does not match exactly to the job title it is that I am hiring for, I'm most likely just going to reject you. Or the ATS system is actually just going to reject you and I won't even get to see your resume. Okay, so now that you've watched my videos on how to optimize your resume and you're applying for the right jobs, how can you actually pass more interviews? Well, first, ask yourself, are you getting rejected more of the time by the recruiters at the beginning of the process, or are you getting rejected all the way at the end of the process? Well, if you're getting rejected most often by recruiters early on in the process, then that means you're actually applying for the wrong roles. And when recruiters are talking to you, they're figuring out that you are applying for the wrong position. Or recruiters are figuring out that maybe you've over-embellished some of the accomplishments that are on your resume. But if it's neither of those things, then it could mean that your elevator pitch is just not that strong and you don't know how to properly answer the question, tell me about yourself. And so you're going to want to watch this video right over here so you can actually pass more of these recruiter screens. Okay, but what does it mean if you typically pass these recruiter interviews but you just don't get job offers? Well, that means that unfortunately your interview skills are just average and they end up hiring somebody who has slightly better interviewing skills than you. But that can't be true because they just tell me that I didn't get picked because I don't have enough experience. Or they told me that I didn't work in tech before and they need someone who's worked in this industry. Or they told me that the other person used to be a manager before and I wasn't a manager. So none of this is my fault. Well, if all those things were actually true, then they wouldn't have even invested all of these hours and people on their team to interview and speak with you because they would have seen all this stuff on your resume, right? So unfortunately, this is just recruiter speak for I can't tell you the real reason why we rejected you, so I'm just going to tell you this. Now, because companies generally can't give you feedback from your interviews because it opens them up to some legal risk, they're going to give you excuses that sound a lot like these. So what this really means is that you need to figure out what your differentiators are, or what your secret sauce is, or what makes you the best candidate out of every single person that they're already talking to at these final round of interviews. Or put another way, you need to know what your best stories are, and you need to know how to tell these stories effectively. Your best stories are the ones that are most relevant for the exact position that you're applying for at that company at this exact moment in time for what they need. Your best stories are going to have the most impressive results, and your best stories are going to be unpredictable. Now, if you want help with this, then sign up for a free strategy session at CareerShakers.com. All right, now follow these steps if you are struggling to find a job right now, or share this video with a friend who constantly keeps complaining that they're not able to find a job. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and don't be afraid to shake things up.